Somehow, my daughters fell in love with Formula One. I don't know how or why, but I'm not arguing. They may not know wheel, but does anyone?
Hi, and welcome to We Don't Know Wheel F1. I'm Anne.
And I'm Grace. We're two sisters who fell in love with Formula One, decided to make a podcast, and now we force all our friends and family into listening to us talk about it. And we've got a guest today. She does not know wheel. Welcome to the pod.
If you don't know
Hannah.
wheel, you'll fit right in.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me today. It's true. I don't know anything about wheel. I've read a couple of articles about the electric wheel situation happening. And I just
Oh.
learned today that wheel is now a hybrid situation, which I'm very excited about. Other than that, I don't know much about wheel.
Okay. Today, Hannah's suggestion while we watched the race was that the winner should be whoever gets the best gas mileage throughout the race.
Yeah, I watched that race.
And then it ended up with her being like, actually, they should just walk it.
Have you heard that we are forming plans to go to Portland next summer?
No, I haven't heard that.
For
For
Formula
a Formula
E.
E race.
Oh,
Yeah.
Evolution.
Yeah, I was trying to talk her into going to Formula One race by saying that F1 Academy next year will be at some of the Formula One
Yeah.
races.
They're going to be at Austin this
also-
year.
She was also hoping that there was someone in drag racing, so like a drag king.
I mean, I just am really interested in something to like spice it up.
She said, spice it up.
Spice it up, F1.
Liam Lawson
This
was
is Hannah coming out to F1. Spice it up if you want viewers like me.
viewers like me. Yeah.
So, Hannah, how many times has Grace tried to talk you into watching Drive to Survive or Formula One?
Oh, I've watched Drive to Survive. We watched the whole season of Drive to Survive, at least the first season. I think it was the first year that I moved here.
Nice.
But she wasn't really drawn into it.
I was
She was like,
interested in the drama, but I wasn't interested in the driving. You know what I mean? I did like read about the cars and like the engineering a little bit, and then I kind of lost interest. But it's very cool. Seems very cool.
she said, if it's not Susie Wolf, I'm not interested.
What can I say? Haven't got me
You
yet.
have a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And trust Susie Wolf with her life.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. Have you seen the videos
Thank
of her
you.
and Toto? And she's like, Toto, you had no control of that car. At what point during that did you have control of the car?
Because I think she raced much longer than he
Yeah.
ever did.
Yeah. You know,
I mean,
would
she
trust
raced
her.
in Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah. But I think it's very interesting, like all her stuff about like, I don't like, why are people seeing me as a woman? Like, I'm just a driver. Like, don't give me this award because I'm a woman. Like, just treat me well because I'm a good driver.
Mhm.
But I think that kind of feels like almost a callback to in Fleabag. Let's bring it back to Fleabag.
As we always should.
I will
Um,
admit, I've watched like two episodes of Fleabag, and that's it.
There's a really good episode in the second season where there's a woman who's getting an award for like best woman in business.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
she's basically like, this is insulting. Like,
Mhm.
I want to be
The best
Best
person
in
in
business.
best in business.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Susie has a
I
point.
think that's what she's.
Yeah.
I don't think she's saying like we don't need like that. There's not an issue with how many women are in racing. She's saying like reward me because I'm good and let's make a space. I think that's where you get into like systemic
Mhm.
gender inequality and
Sexism.
systemic racism.
Sexism.
Yeah. Where it's like you can both say like I want to be known for my accomplishments as a person, and also like the system that we are living and working in is not equitable and that
Yes.
needs to change.
Yeah.
Mm.
And even something as simple as I heard someone who works, it was a lady who works like in Formula One. I can't remember what job she had. She was on a podcast and she's talking about how like in the F1 rule book, everything says he. Not she, not they, he.
It's
Everything.
it's death by 1,000 little paper cuts.
Yeah.
It's all those little microaggressions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
It all adds up, ladies and gentlemen, and folks.
And folks. Yeah. But
no, it was interesting watching the race today with Grace. I watched the second half, so it was a lot of
Nice.
rain talk. That was the most exciting part for me. It was all rain talk. We had
First half,
the
was
metaphors were
wild.
flying.
So I'm bummed you missed the first half because it was truly wild. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out there and say I think this is the best race we had all year.
just giving a high compliment. I do.
It was
I have to
so
agree with-
good.
It was good. There was like so much happening.
Yes.
I have to agree with Hannah. I did love like all of the different ways they described the rain.
It's coming down in buckets. It's coming out of sideways.
It's a sub out there.
This is our into TikTok. We should make a super cut of all the ridiculous ways that they describe the rain.
Yeah, and so my question is, like these commentary people, like obviously they have a background in racing or what, like that's their credentials. That's how they're getting to be the
That's their
commentator.
credentials.
But like, what are the support people? Like, is there someone giving them like a list of different things, that phrases for like light rain? Here's some things you could say instead. Moderate rain, like here's some other ways you could say that, just to kind of like mix it up. And they have just like a little cheat sheet or something.
I
mean,
think
I
they
know-
definitely are doing that.
They have producers for sure, and I think they all have earpieces
There's someone
For
in their ear
for
like,
live shows, and they wear
say
headphones.
it's a soup out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That's the job I should have gotten, Grace.
Producer.
Mhm.
And maybe it's like linked to their advertising where it's like, well, if we say like soup and like so and so's advertising,
And we're sponsored by Campbell's.
it's gonna sales are going up.
Soup sales are sky high. Oh my gosh. What was the other hot take we watched with our friend Keith? And at one point, oh, was it in the commentary? No, it was Hannah. We were talking about Yuki and
Mhm.
how Dutch food is.
Oh, just boring. It's all just like sausage on bread. I'm so sorry for all of the folks out there that are from the Netherlands and watching this. I'm sure that there's lots of great cuisine from the Netherlands. My exposure to food from the Netherlands has been like meat on a bread. It's very simple.
And so
Yeah.
then Hannah goes, Yuki must be going through it.
I think Yuki just exists the entire week only on stroop waffles.
I think so.
You know what? We started the day by having waffles,
That's
and they were
true,
very
yeah.
thin waffles, so we felt like we were prepping for the
Perfect.
the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of Max and Checo making stroop waffles?
No,
Really?
Tell
It's
us.
so good. It's only like 5 minutes long, and so they're given a time limit. They have to see how many they can make, and they like take turns doing it, and then the other person is asking them questions. And most of the questions, Checo is just like, "What? I don't know." And he also
he feels like the kind of person who would be like, I don't cook.
Oh yeah. He definitely feels like that. But he also he was trying at the beginning of the video to get Max to tell him how to pronounce stroopwafel correctly. And then when he goes to introduce the video, he just says Dutch waffles and like chickens out of trying to say
That's
it.
bad. That's pretty good.
It's a good one. And the people who like the Red Bull team that edited it added in those like very millennial like random like sound bites or gifs in the middle to respond to funny things that were happening. It's classic. I can't believe I didn't put that in the group chat.
Oh,
I have gotten
man.
called out on putting too much Red Bull stuff in there though.
No one's mad about that.
I have to ask, are you wearing orange, Dutch orange
I
today?
thought
Dutch
I was
orange?
like fit in with the crowd today.
Wow.
Ah, so are you a Max fan?
Kind of, not really.
Super Max.
Super Max? Do you know the song? Can you sing it for us?
I will not be singing it.
So catchy though. When we were in Hungary, I just kept walking around everywhere singing Max, Max, Max.
Because
Oh
you
my
would
God.
hear people singing it at
Yes.
the like race randomly. Even when we were walking around Budapest, we heard people singing
Yeah. And I'm not a
Wow.
Max fan. I just couldn't get out of my head.
It's effective. That's how you know it's very effective. I bet some jingle writer wrote it. Or no, who wrote
wasn't it the DJ person who made the
Martin
flag?
Garrix, I think, but I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
Well, it's
His
effective.
BFF.
Yeah. I mean, how couldn't you win when the whole crowd is singing
Yeah.
Max, Max,
Max.
Super Max?
Yeah.
It does.
And you're driving the best car and you have all the advantages.
And you have all the advantages in life.
It does.
When you put in the group chat, like, this is a really good race, I was like, Max
Someone
didn't
besides
get
Max
first.
is gonna win.
And then the race finished, and I was like, Max won.
There's no surprises here.
Okay,
I
to
was
be fair,
surprised
I put that in way before the end. I put it in like
I thought you were done. Like, I was like, the race is done.
no.
I'm
It was
surprised
like
with
before
3.
9:00 that I put that in there, and it started at 8.
I called Sarah like this afternoon, and I knew she was watching, and she answers, and I was like, are you still watching? And she said, I'm on lap 63. And I said, oh, are they restarting? And she said,
They haven't
no.
stopped.
Yeah. And I was she was like, race spoilers. Like, I'm sorry, they literally stop on this lap and then they restart on it. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Sarah was getting all the spoilers this week.
She was not
Yeah.
happy with us.
Whoops. Oops.
That was my bad.
Let's talk about Danny Rick.
Oh,
Heartbreak.
Yeah, heartbreak. Especially just not seeing that smile at all the whole race. What a bummer. Those teeth. Like, you can see all of them when he smiles. Like, it's great. It's contagious. But also, how long does it take for a wrist to heal? Because that was a point of contention. I was like, 6 weeks. Grace is like, no, they're doing everything between heaven and earth to get these people back in the cars because they're the money makers.
I mean,
And so
Lance
she was saying
Stroll
2 weeks.
broke
2
2
weeks.
wrists and had a bunch of other injuries, and
Both
he was
wrists.
back in 3 weeks.
Okay, 3 weeks. But still, like, that's like, those are not healed. That's not.
Yeah.
And then you're like getting a couple G's on your wrists, on your unhealed wrists. Like, as no.
I think they're just like putting plates in, and then they're like, physically the skin and the tissue has healed sufficiently by probably like 14 days.
Okay.
That's my medical opinion. No. Not a medical opinion.
It just feels kind of wild. That's all.
Oh, it's definitely wild. It's definitely like unlike anything any of us will ever experience.
Yeah.
But I've also read about like when people who are in like peak performance, physical shape get injured, they do heal faster.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But I mean, think about when Dad broke his wrist growing up. It took him a while to like
Yeah, but he was
actually
also like
beat
45.
himself.
I was like,
That's-
if I
that's
broke a
true.
bone right now, I would not heal very quickly. I'm like,
I'd be in trouble.
I'd be in
But
trouble.
yeah, but he had like he had surgery both times, and he like had the like full soft cast where he wasn't doing anything with his wrist for at least a couple of weeks.
Weeks. Yeah.
After
Oh, I believe
yeah.
that.
I would
well,
say
and
like,
then
at
a
least 6
long,
weeks.
long time after that he was like slowly
Physical therapy.
doing physical therapy.
What's the most common so like obviously these wrist situations weren't like F1 caused injuries.
Well,
Were they?
Danny
This
Ricciardo's
was?
was
Yeah, it
in a car.
was.
So what's the like payout on that? Because that's an injury at work, right?
What's his workers'
Yeah,
comp?
what does his workers' comp look like? That's what I want to know. Like, would you just be, you know how, burnout happens in all careers, right? Like, are F1 drivers just ever like, I need to get
I've
injured, but
heard
like just enough for a break?
I need a
You know,
gentle COVID.
I need like a gentle COVID. I
break.
just need like a hairline fracture.
Oh my god.
So that's all. I'm just curious. Like, is he getting paid his like usual race rate, or is it like some kind of reduced rate, or is it just like no pay until you're healed? And that's why they're like 2 weeks.
He's
Let's
getting
get him back
paid
in
the
there.
whole time. You think he's not
Yeah.
getting paid?
I mean, what does this health insurance
Well,
look like?
this
too?
also opens up another question. which is so he would have one
They all
contract.
live in Europe. They all have
Oh, they have
health
universal.
insurance.
Yeah, they have
What's
universal
their
So,
health
health
I don't know.
insurance.
I mean, it's Danny Rick. Maybe he lives in the US. He's Australian.
He lives in Monaco.
Oh, okay.
Or I don't know if that's true.
Monaco.
He has a farm in Australia. He has some sort of apartment in Monaco, and he has
Oh.
like a place in LA too, I
Yeah.
think. But I think
Um,
they all want to have their residence in Monaco for
Okay.
tax
tax
purposes.
For taxes and healthcare.
Maybe we should put our residence in
Should
Monaco.
we be going
when
to Monaco? Are we moving to Monaco?
moving to Monaco? We just have to be there enough time to get the
Yeah,
tax
to get the
benefits.
taxes. I don't know.
But I've looked into the healthcare system in Monaco.
Do they speak
my
English? in Monaco?
gosh.
No, they speak French.
Okay, French.
But I mean, if you're rich, it doesn't matter.
Like-
Danny Ricardo doesn't speak French.
as a help, like as somebody
Oh,
working
if we're
there,
working there.
I have like
I don't
2
know.
semesters of college French, and that's it. I don't think I
When
could
we
get
were
by.
hanging out in Hungary, we were talking to my friend who's living in Germany, who's a nurse, and she said they were constantly like, come work. And she said, I don't speak German. And they said, it doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. Maybe we'd be fine. We'll look into it.
But okay, the question I was gonna ask is, so Danny had a contract to be Red Bull's third driver. Did he get a new contract with a different salary when they promoted him to AlphaTauri, or is it the same?
Interesting.
You'd think that when they make the initial contract, they put in the eventualities of like, if you get called up, then we'll do this.
You would, yeah, I would think so.
I think Liam Lawson's I think he did his best today, but I don't think Danny Rick is really in trouble yet.
No. I mean,
That was certainly
He-
in question though, where people were kind of like, well, this might be the end.
of Danny,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think I would say that's a
Didn't Danny
overreaction.
also like retire and come back already? Like he's not gonna be out of the game easily. He's a bounce back.
I would say it was a forced retirement.
Yeah.
A forced retirement. I'm not taking Haas money, so I'm gonna take a break.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, I don't feel like he's leaving the scene anytime soon. And if he's like not driving, like he's still gonna be hanging out and like doing other stuff.
Honestly, when he does retire, he should be commentating because
He
the
will,
commentators we
yes.
have right now are not.
He should take DC's
it.
place.
Controversial.
It's not controversial.
I want some women
Well,
commentators.
obviously.
Yes. But
Yeah, it's just a bit boring right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And they're not even
DC
saying anything interesting.
I mean,
I-
those rain metaphors.
I normally think DC's a pretty decent, fairly interesting commentator, but today he kept saying things where I was like, did you actually just say that? Where it felt like he was kind of constantly insulting different drivers.
Ooh,
I think that's one of his favorite things to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
a little snark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, I also get frustrated like at the beginning of the races when they're like, oh my gosh, imagine Alex Albon, he could be in the podium today. And you're like, we are 6 laps in. So I don't think
There's
that's
another 65 laps.
like, what are we even talking about?
Like
To
Joe Guan
speculate-
Yu was in second and ended up like he would have been in the bottom 3 if he had actually
Yeah.
finished, most likely.
So yeah, it was.
Well, I guess here's my question. What is the like role of a commentator? What are they supposed to be doing? You know, like from your
I
perspective, not
think-
according to anybody else, but like from you two.
Oh,
Like what
okay.
do you think a good commentator brings?
Let's hear it, Annie.
I think they're supposed to be commenting on the situation at hand. I think a good commentator is like a mix of both explaining the things that are happening for people who might not know as much, but also adding their own opinions and their own context.
Yeah, I think that to me, it's like I enjoy it the most when they're bringing context that you might not know unless you had that experience. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was one moment, I think, where DC said something like, you're more a passenger when there's this much rain.
Mhm.
And I liked that. Like, that was a good one. Because we
Yeah.
were watching Checo go off and Keith was like, he didn't even turn. He just drove straight. And I was like, no, he tried to turn.
He's like, he couldn't.
The wheels were turned. The car went straight. They were ice skating. They were floating on soup.
You were in the soup.
They were in the soup. That was appropriate. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like when you know that a commentator has an actual like relationship or friendship with the drivers, I think that makes it a lot better. I think that's one of the things that I like when I like see and hear Will Buxton doing things, is that you can see the ways that he's actually friends with a lot of the drivers.
I also don't mind completely if they're making fun of the drivers a little bit, as long as they do it within some context. That was another, like, there was that moment where Russell was like, we were supposed to be in the podium today. And they were like, there's
We had
so
a
much
projected
left
podium.
of this race. That was fine. I accept that. Russell is just such a, like,
He was, yeah. He had an interesting day on the radio.
he
I'll
likes a
say it
little
that
bit
way.
of whinging.
Yeah, that's a better way of
Mind
putting
whinging.
it.
I think it's a British slang.
Yeah, I
For
think
like-
it is too.
Yeah,
He's a whiner.
complaining, whining. Which
Yeah,
I mean, he did like. I either heard him or someone else just describe like he essentially was like 2 laps behind every strategy call that should have been made, like throughout the
Well,
whole
let's-
race.
Let's talk about Charles being like
Oh,
on the radio. We cannot do this. You guys need to be on it next time. Like going off. And I was like, Charles, I love it. You need to do this. You're 2 years too late.
this is during qualifying yesterday, right?
I think it was.
Yeah. Oh man, he
He had a rough
such
race.
rough weekend overall. I felt so bad.
At a certain point, okay, I feel like I have my feelings about like who are the drivers with what I'm going to call something like talent.
Something like talent.
I don't really know what to call it, because obviously like they're all dedicated to their craft.
And
So
they're
there's
all
a lot of
talented.
like what's talent and what's just like obsession, right? Like
Mm.
is Fernando Alonso talented or obsessed? Because he obviously
Both.
spends a lot of time driving,
Mhm.
right? So I'm
Mm.
trying to pick out, like, there are some people, I think it's almost like that episode of Drive to Survive where they're like, Carlos Sainz works really hard.
It's like the difference
Insult.
between Kimi Räikkönen and
Yeah.
Nico Rosberg.
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
like some people put in the time and some people are just like, they do have like something, whatever. Either they love
Kimi
it so
is
much or they
just
put in the time.
Fast. And Nico was willing to literally do whatever he possibly could, including like ignoring his family for a year in order to win a
Yeah.
world championship.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a guy.
That's
But,
an
like,
exaggeration, but
Charles definitely falls on that list. I think like most people would include him on that list of drivers who are just like insanely talented, like very much in the running. I've been
Yes.
like running through my list right now is very like Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. What a guy. Like Alex Albon, Charles.
not Max.
I mean, Max is obviously like, Max has it. He won it. Like, that's the same way I feel about like Lewis Hamilton and Fernando. It's like, yes, they obviously
Okay.
they have what it takes. There's no question there. The other ones are more like they have it in theory, right?
And they
And that's what I think is getting
often
interesting
will
with
work
Charles.
very hard, but it doesn't always work out.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
with Charles, you're like, what is happening? Like, you are so fast. You are talented. You obviously work hard. This is a mess. Like, on speed alone, like on race pace, you should always be, you should have more points than Carlos. You should be out qualifying him. What is happening?
It is hard to tell, like, is his frustration and his like just like I'm gonna make it happen to be fast? Is that messing
Landing
him up,
him in
or
the
is
wall.
is that
That's what
that
happened in
like
qualifying.
limiting him, or is it Ferrari limiting him, or is it both? And like, which is
And if it is
more?
Ferrari, he should get out because it's clearly not working. And like,
But he will never get out of Ferrari. Ferrari is his dream, and winning a world championship with Ferrari is his dream, and he'll never leave, and he needs to leave.
I mean, what's his nickname?
Il Predestino.
How would you leave your fans if they're calling you that? You wouldn't. Like, you can do anything and they love you.
I mean, he is the golden boy of Ferrari, but if he wants to win a world championship, I don't think it's going to be with Ferrari.
Does he want to win a world championship, or does he just want the adoration of his fans? I don't know. What is motivating him?
I mean, it feels really wild that like at this point, Lando Norris is like
More likely to win a world championship than
yes!
Charles.
Well, he has nice eyes.
He's got nice eyes. Oh my god. That's what we were talking about when they interviewed Charles in the middle of the red flag. And Hannah was like, he's giving Timothée Chalamet vibes. Like
Yeah, I didn't really get it until they did like a close up, and then I was like, oh, okay. Like his eyes and his like little eyelashes, and I was like, okay, I can see it now. I can understand.
I said, he has nice dimples, and Keith said, Grace.
I saw a tweet that was like, is it really a red flag if the camera isn't zooming in on Charles' eyes?
That's great.
Yeah, no, that's what
What can you say?
what can you say?
What was his nickname again?
Predestino. I don't know if I'm saying that right. My Italian is not good, but I think that's what they call him. Yeah. But honestly, I don't know. Like, especially hearing him on the radio, like really getting on Ferrari, I was just like, but honestly, like whatever is happening here, it's not functional.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And like maybe the moment when things are going down isn't the time to be like storming and norming with your crew.
Storming and norming.
Just to bring a little like nursing theory into it.
They do need someone to come in. That's a job we could get in F1, where we come in and we do like
team building,
like
hell yeah,
project.
that's my jam.
Yeah, like we come in and we're like, here's how you change the culture of your group.
Yeah.
I feel like someone must have come in at Mercedes and done that like 6-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. When
it was
like
Toto.
Niki Lauda joined,
Yeah.
and they convinced Lewis to come, and yeah,
They really give that vibe. Like they're like, no, we've transformed the way our work culture functions.
mm-hmm.
And Ferrari's like, what work culture? We fire you if you don't win.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
What?
it could be Wolf that really transformed Mercedes. Just saying. I don't want to give credit where I don't know where it's due, but I have a suspicion, and I would be curious for some investigations.
Yeah, but it's not working right now.
Yeah. Well,
What happened?
They
I think they just made a mistake with designing their car.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they haven't had the chance to correct it because they can't just throw money at the problem.
that's
But going back to Ferrari, I think Mattia Binotto, I think, was trying to do what they did at Mercedes, but was not successful.
And
at
Ferrari, well, I feel like he was. I think you're right. I'm a Mattia apologist, and I think he was. And I think that Ferrari basically was like, that's not how we operate. You don't perform, we fire you. If you've been here a long time, you're here forever. Like, they are not here for transforming like their work culture.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane that they have more money than any of the teams.
I know.
And they're still in the middle of the grid.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to like when you're trying to fix something and transform it. Like, if it's working and you're trying to change it, like there is going to be a period of underperformance and probably.
But if anyone showed that, I would say it was McLaren this year. Where like first 3 races, you were just like, what happened? They were doing
were
worse
awful.
than the Haas. They were
Mhm.
just out. But now they're competitive.
Mhm.
It's not perfect, but they've transformed where they are.
Mhm. In the long run, it's worth it.
And
But
well,
if you're just like,
Yeah.
if that's your culture, look at me. I know so much about I'm definitely the expert. Let me explain this. to
Hire
all
us.
the F1 teams out there.
but I feel like with McLaren, they didn't have the like race to race operational issues that Ferrari does. They just had a bad car at the beginning and figured out how to put upgrades on it to make a good car so that they're in
Yeah.
the mix to be second place.
Ferrari strategy is wild. There's no.
Did you
no
see the
getting around
picture
it.
of all of the mechanics standing out, ready for a pit stop without tires in their hands before Charles' first pit stop on that first lap?
Yikes.
So bad.
Not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can't spend too much time on Ferrari. They're a total bummer. Honestly, Charles and Carlos should both leave.
Where do you want Carlos to go, Grace?
Honestly, Lance should go play tennis and Carlos should go to
Go to Audi? Or not Audi, Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. I'd take him at Audi. I'd take him at Aston Martin. I'd take him back at McLaren. Yeah, just anywhere. Just stay on the grid.
I feel like, honestly, I could see a possibility of him going to Red Bull. Because, like, he wouldn't
already
challenge
been
Max. But not on the Red Bull team.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know.
I don't know. I really think Checo's going to stay there next year. And then they're going to replace him with Oscar Piastri.
They should. He's so fast.
Yeah.
It's like if they can't get Lando, they'll take Oscar. But honestly,
Yes.
Oscar might be faster than Lando.
I don't know if he's faster than Lando yet.
But
He
they're
could be.
very closely matched.
They're really close. And Oscar just started.
Yeah. No. Oscar's very enjoyable person to watch drive.
I don't think I noticed.
You're
it.
like, I don't even know.
remember.
That's his whole thing. He really like blends into the background. He's very
Maybe I saw him. I was just paying more attention to the soup metaphor. At that point, probably.
yeah. Okay. What are your hot takes from the race, Hannah?
Oh, I mean, I think I already I
Soup.
enjoyed this. I enjoyed the rain. That was the best part for me. I really, I think like the weather features were interesting. Definitely wanted to see more driving in inclement weather. Wanted to see more safety talking from the commentators. Like, let's make Formula One into like who can drive the most efficiently, who is like the best at driving in adverse conditions and like safely.
Okay. Actually, let's talk about this for a second. Let's say, who do you think would be the most efficient driver?
Ooh,
We're
okay.
talking gas mileage.
I think Yuki.
What?
Yeah.
No, he's way too hot-headed.
He's a loose cannon.
He drives like I drive, which is to say no.
He's a jackrabbit.
The minute that he thought someone was going to be faster than him, would forget entirely about gas
Actually,
mileage.
Hamilton.
Maybe
Because
Hamilton.
I think Hamilton is like the
Hamilton.
most like cool-headed and like
Or-
not calculating, but like calculating.
Yeah.
Or Alex and Checo, because they both like have the ability to save tires in an insane way.
Which I feel like tire management is very similar
Mhm.
to like gas mileage management. So I think, yeah,
Mhm.
Alex is a good one. Anne can keep Checo for herself.
I love this.
I'm really, really, really enjoying watching Alex Albon be like so good with that
Yes.
car right now. Also, I know I'm not a huge Logan Sargent fan, but it was sad that to watch
The
him.
way they kept showing him on the cameras, just sitting there, so just like dejected. I felt really bad.
I would be sad too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know if I remember that. I mean, I remember that it was like there was definitely a lot of shots of like sad driver sitting in the rain,
That
sad
was
driver
Logan
That's all Logan
with an
Sargent.
umbrella, sad driver with a cabana, sad driver sitting in a chair, rubbing their face, moving their lower jaw anxiously.
They're just wishing there was a yacht they could go sit on to finish out the race.
But I mean, okay, another race highlight was honestly the long shots because you could see all of the wind turbines in the ocean. That was really cool in the North Sea. I feel like the location was cool.
We were like looking at maps to be like, okay, where is
It's
this
way
in
up there,
relation?
right?
Yeah, I did not realize that the Netherlands is more like this than like this in relation to
To the
it's more
North
like,
Sea.
you know, like it's more like north on their shore.
And then Denmark is like this.
Yeah, and
right?
then like
Oh, okay, yeah.
Norway and Scotland is over here. And I don't know. I for some reason I was like England, Netherlands, channels in between, but no, it's more like England, France channel.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I learned something today.
I will say the best part of the red flag to me was hearing all the music that they had playing, that the crowd was just like belting it out to almost every it seemed like a lot of fun.
People were definitely hype. It did make me feel like Zandvoort looks really fun, even though
Mhm.
I'm afraid of Max
know.
fans.
I know. But
Then
who
we-
knows? Maybe
we did
they all be
talk a
like the
lot
girl that
about-
we gave the friendship bracelet to.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Seems
I'm just gonna say I've seen more posts on social media of like F1 people I know getting friendship bracelets from fans at the race than I ever have before this weekend.
I love it. Well, okay, I will say Zandvoort looked so beautiful. Like
Yes.
I was like, seems fun. Yeah, so add it to my list of races I want to go to.
Did you all start the friendship bracelet thing when you were in
That's
Hungary?
us. No,
That was all you.
That's all us.
We're giving Taylor Swift credit.
It's like peak. I don't know. I think it's the friendship bracelet thing though does seem like a huge indicator of like what is the fan base of F1 right now.
Yes.
Who
And I
is-
love it.
And who, it's not just that, because I will say, like, you look at the stands, I'm sure when you look at like the spread of who's going to races, like it's still probably pretty male dominated.
Yeah.
But like, who's bringing the passion?
But also, like, I feel like if you had gone to F1 race 10 years ago, it might have been significantly higher percentage of guys compared to
I
when
think
we
Daniel
were in
Ricciardo has
Budapest.
talked about that on like other podcasts or something. And basically is like, it used to be like 80-20
Mhm.
and now it's much closer to 50-50.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how it will look in 10 years.
It's going to be 80-20 the other direction.
And that
I-
20% will still be complaining about how all the girls just started watching because of Drive to Survive and they thought the drivers were cute.
And what's wrong with that? Oh, okay. Let's talk about what got sent to the group chat this week, which was Daniel Ricciardo's new book. He didn't write it, obviously.
Honestly, Danny Rick seems kind of like the king of merch.
Oh, he
yeah, but
is.
this is not his merch.
Oh.
Let me show you.
This is somebody writing about Danny Rick.
Yeah.
Somebody's profiting off of his profiting.
Somebody profiting off of his profiting. And Sarah
texted it.
texted it. It's called Overtake My Heart. It's a Kindle book.
Oh, that doesn't even look like Danny Rick. It looks like a Hulk. He's got like way too many muscles to fit in a car. Even those hips would not fit in a car.
Hips would never fit.
Never.
I like that
And
he's
his shoulders
driving a
alone,
Red
His
Bull.
shoulders aren't going to get through the halo.
I don't know how they're allowed to have that Red Bull there though. That seems like copyright claim.
For real.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Well, they kind of have it interestingly positioned to be a little sneaky.
The full title is Overtake My Heart. Thick Rick, Races for Love, book number 1 of 69 in the Daniel Ricciardo romance series.
This cannot be a real book.
It's real. I downloaded it, but I haven't read it.
Incredible.
We need a full report next weekend, Grace.
I will try my best. On the cover, it says makes a great gift for mom.
Does it really? Oh my god.
But I will say, I think I texted Sarah about this, and Sarah said that it was written by a hetero man.
She did
Kinda
say
love
that.
I'm interested to hear more about your review.
I think that on the they say the author's name is Anita Driver, which is obviously a ghost.
I need a driver.
Anita
I need a
Driver.
driver. Okay. Sure.
I feel like that must have been in like drag name on Drag Race at some point.
I hope so.
She also has written a book called Charles Leclerc and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Monaco Grand Prix.
No.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's another book. It's called Stop, Drop, and Stroll. What is this book called? There's more to it. Stop, Drop, and Stroll. The Lance Stroll Inspired Guide to Fire Safety for Kids. I love it. Those are her top 3 titles and / maybe her only titles. Yeah, I will say this book has 4 stars out of 5 with 29 reviews, which is a bit sus because
Anne and I were like, that's pretty good. And
No,
Grace
it's
is
not.
like, no.
No, guys. These books should have like 1,500 reviews. And
Hey, did it just drop? I mean, when did it come out?
it did drop quite recently. Okay, here's a review. Must read, puts the F in F1.
Okay. Interested to hear what you think after reading it.
But then so it's got 3 on Goodreads with 63 reviews over there.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
That's
Yeah. Well,
Have fun with
if
that
I
this
read
week,
it,
Grace.
I will check in and let you know. I'll give you my review.
Perfect.
I'll give you my review.
all right, Anne.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were gonna write not necessarily fanfic. It could be if you want it to be. But if you were gonna write a book,
doesn't have to be romantic.
if you're gonna write fanfic, not necessarily romantic, but it could be romantic if you want it to be. How's that?
Great.
But like some kind of book about F1 or the players in F1, like what would your book title be? What would it be about?
I have no idea.
Come on, Annie. Get the
This first
creativity
thing that
out.
comes to your head. First
Yeah.
thing that comes to your mind. It can be.
I think
It can also
it's-
be nonfiction.
Okay,
Like it
let
can
me-
be fiction. It can be fantasy, but it can also be like nonfiction. It could be like a deep
Okay.
dive.
I have an idea. Grace is
Okay,
gonna
let's
hate
hear
me
it.
for this.
No, why would I hate you for it?
I would do a like nonfiction deep dive on what
Check it out.
evidence I could find for if Carlos was actually in a fake relationship with Issa. That idea has stuck in my head so much, Grace.
I would read that book.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not like when I think about it, I feel like I'm worried. I'm legit.
No, it's
losing my
not
mind.
crazy. It just sticks in your
here's
head.
the hot goss on this right now because I'm on Tumblr and I know what people are chit-chatting about when it comes to Carlos. That's it though. He has like a new woman he's been spotted out with,
Yes.
Rebecca. She's Scottish. And people really think that their relationship is being faked by Ferrari because Ferrari is opening a store in Scotland.
Oh my gosh.
But also, she started not like an OnlyFans, but something like that, like a subscription service, so that you could pay to see like premium photos of her and Carlos.
What?
Yes.
What?
That's just
Like what?
Oh my
Yeah, it's wild.
gosh. So it's like a Patreon.
It's a Patreon.
Patreon.
And it was very short lived because then people started complaining because like some people subscribed and then just were posting the photos and blah blah blah.
Of course.
But also,
Unless you
like,
watermark
why
'em.
would you do that? That seems so wild.
But honestly, though, like if people is doing it, if the paparazzi are doing it, why not make yourself some money?
Well, I think it's okay if you're the one. Like, I think it's okay if you're like Carlos Sainz and you want to do that.
Yeah,
But I think it is not the best look if you're
the
his,
girlfriend,
like, situationship who's like,
yeah,
we're gonna go on vacation this summer.
Very good point. Very good point about consent.
we're going on
and
vacation, so I can make a
what's
bunch of money
ethical in
off of the pictures that we
Okay.
take together.
Very well said, Grace.
But then also, like, in the ether of that, there's all these like Issa fans who are like,
Lisa would never do
she's
this.
really struggling. She's posting all this stuff. Like, then other people who are like, she's not handling this breakup well because she's posting all the time, and that's how you can tell she's going through a breakup. It's just so bad. You don't want to
Oh
know.
my gosh.
I'm sorry that I know. I don't go on I don't check that info out that often, but sometimes I'm bored, and then next thing you know.
So it sounds like Anne's investigative, like
Yeah.
journalist
Mhm.
Put it to
deep
work, Annie.
dive would be more
Mhm.
respectful. It would be more like
Yeah.
It would be trying to find all the drama, but using
right,
concrete facts.
just like here's the facts. people.
Concrete facts.
Here are the facts available
Here are
to
the
the
facts.
public.
I did not use, like, you should see the insane stuff that people post on Tumblr where it's like, look at this video, which is just blur, right? Like, you haven't seen a picture this pixelated since 2007. And they're like, if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you see Carlos and his new girl, and it's very obvious from their body language they're not into each other. And you're like, it literally just looks like a blur of colors. What would I be looking at? And then they'll be like, I've got my body language expert to look at it, and they said they're definitely not together.
My gosh, people are truly insane.
They're
Yeah.
truly wild.
What would your book be about, Grace?
I was gonna say that your book, if I was gonna pick a book for you, Anne,
Yeah.
would be like, it's sort of like a fictional like story, and it's about like, it's not smut, it's just romance. It's like a Nicholas Sparks about Checo and his wife.
That'd be cute.
That's cute. My book,
While you're thinking about it, did you know that Checo and his wife are having another baby?
Oh, that's cute.
That's cute.
I hope they're happy.
Fourth kid.
Poor kid.
Fourth kid.
Oh, fourth kid. I thought you said poor kid.
Poor kid.
I was like, I mean, I guess like seems like they're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grace.
I would do like a fiction book. It's just gonna be a classic, like, I don't know. Although I like like Anne's idea is probably the best one. I love that idea, Annie. Yeah.
If I had answered this question, you have to.
If I was gonna, and I'm writing it.
Yes.
You're writing it.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
you're writing
writing
it,
it.
girl. You can hire a ghostwriter, but your name's
I'm
on
writing it. My name's on it?
You can
No,
use,
that
you can
would
use
be
a pseudonym.
anonymous.
You can use a pseudonym.
Yeah, I'm using a pseudonym.
You can use Anita Driver.
It's a romance book, and it definitely involves like, you are a driver, you're a girl driver, and you've got this is like when Dad was like, a woman could make it into F1, she starts an Indy car, but you're a driver. Susie Wolf is like your mentor and
manager.
Actually, let me just tell you the story. Okay, Susie Wolf actually
She's
gets
actually gonna write this
picked
book.
up by Audie, and so she's the team principal there.
Love it.
And Carlos goes there too. No.
Of course.
And you go as like the first female one driver, like with a spot on the grid since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about like your fight to be seen as like an independent woman, but then you're also like you're falling in love
with Carlos.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
But is it? Does it need to be complicated?
Yeah, does it need to be complicated?
Is that the question we're supposed to be asking?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who's your best friend? Who's the best friend of the girl on the grid during this book? I'm going to say it's Lando Norris.
Alex.
It's Alex. No.
He's the one that I would want to be best friends with.
No, but I'm saying in the book I'm writing.
Lando?
Yeah. Sorry, babe. You guys had the same tutor, so you're kind of dumb. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. I'm not serious. No one come for me with
Bleep that out.
Bleep it right out.
Right out. Just blur her face and bleep the words.
You think I have those editing skills?
Yeah. Yes. I've seen your work. You're good.
Yeah. No. Or I think it would be really fun. I would love to read a book. Maybe this exists and I'm just not a good fan, but like I want to read a book about Kimi Räikkönen and like his, like he had some wild years. I would love to read a tell-all about that.
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
That's what I'm here for. So if that exists, someone send it to me and I'll read it. But I'm not going to do the homework to figure out if it exists. No.
I feel like a Fernando Alonso tell-all.
Oh,
would also be
Fernando, he
really
must have books
good.
in Spanish. And I think his life must be so interesting because the little bits I've been able to read about, like on Wikipedia, like it sounds like he really didn't come from a lot and worked really hard. He seems so.
It's also been like right in the thick of so much drama in Formula One and right in the thick of like just chaos at teams.
He lives for the drama, dude.
He really does.
Interesting.
Oh, he does. He like what's the story about him at McLaren when Hamilton was there? Like he paid off mechanics to like help him win over Hamilton.
Well, and he was
That's
also
so shady
at McLaren when they like stole information from Ferrari.
Isn't he also involved in the whole Renault scheme where like his teammate crashed to allow him to try to win?
What?
I don't know.
Now that's
probably
that's a biography we could write.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that he's a bit shady as well.
A little complicated.
Complicated man. What?
I just said it. Just a tad shady.
Just a tad. Just a little.
Just a little. I wasn't gonna eat it. I was just gonna taste it. Yeah. Okay, Hannah, what book would you write about Formula One?
Oh. Well, okay, so I have two ideas.
Okay.
Because I had the benefit of going last. I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
So the first book that I would do is nonfic, and it's all about the things that go into an F1 race that are not the skill of the driver.
Ooh.
So just like all of the external factors that contribute to someone's success or failure, whether like training, privilege, cars, whatever. It's just a total takedown to say like, here's the social determinants of health. These are the things that like these drivers have no control over. So it's just like making everybody see the systems that are bigger than the driver, but also like maybe specifically focusing on weather because that seems interesting. But that's the book I would write probably if I was going to do a nonfic. If I was going to do fiction, I think I would do a Shakespeare take on F1. So like some kind of like a modern like 12th Night or maybe like Macbeth, but it's like F1.
Okay, explain that more.
That sounds amazing.
Explain that more. I mean, I feel like, 12th Night, like that I feel like is kind of like classic, right? You've got like your drag king F1 racer situation,
That's a good story.
but it's like undercover.
I'm trying to remember
drag
what story
king.
12th Night is.
So basically there's two siblings.
She's the man.
She's
She's
the man.
Okay, yeah, got it.
She's the man, but it's F1.
Yeah.
So it's 12th night. Wouldn't that be good? I would watch that.
I would watch that.
I think Macbeth would be even better.
Right?
Okay,
and
tell me how you
recently-
do a Macbeth story.
Okay. I'm not
I don't
sure
know, but it'd
exactly
be
yet. But I think it would maybe be an Alonso story because Alonso has taken so many people out to be successful. And so now that I've just learned this information,
I feel
about
like Alonso
I
needs to
think-
be Lady Macbeth.
Oh, interesting. So
I
then
like
who's
that.
Macbeth? I kind of like that.
Who would be
Who's
Macbeth?
Macbeth? Max.
Hamilton.
Oh, maybe. But then, okay, interesting. Who's Banquo? The like.
I haven't read
yeah.
the story recently
Okay.
enough.
Well, I feel like it could work. I do think that one of the things that I love so much about Macbeth is that it's also a story about C-section and about like midwives in
Mhm.
Shakespeare's time. So I'm not really sure how we're gonna like weave that theme in there, but I feel like there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I
So
just applied to be a volunteer at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and when it was like, what skills or job experience do you have? I was like, I'm a midwife.
emergency birth. I'm here for it. Oh, I would read that book. An emergency birth somehow involving an F1 driver that needs to like drive you to the birth, or maybe you are an F1 driver, but you're also a midwife. So it's just like these harrowing drives,
Oh my
and then these
gosh.
like beautiful, calm, chill births.
I can't. I love it. Sounds perfect.
So there's some content here.
Oh yeah.
There's some content here. We can make this
Maybe
work.
some of your listeners will take these ideas
Yeah.
and really flesh them out.
TM.
Yeah,
We need
TM.
royalties.
If you find someone's published a book that follows a similar storyline, maybe you can. What's that called?
Send that along.
Yeah. I was
A
gonna
little
say,
cease
like-
and desist.
yeah, cease and desist. That's it, Anne. That's exactly it. Trademark.
That's our
trademark.
intellectual property.
Copyright.
Oh my gosh. Well, any other hot takes we need to talk about this race?
One thought that I had as I was watching the race is it felt like it was a race of the Red Bull rejects doing really well. Because Alex just was like killing it, and Pierre got a podium. Like he got third
Yeah.
place. And even before like Checo's penalty at the end, Pierre had been like doing so well consistently
Yeah.
throughout. It was really impressive.
It was
which
so
was-
enjoyable to
yeah.
watch that.
And especially ironic as like Checo is under all of this pressure of is Checo gonna lose his seat, and then two of the people that today looked like they were way better than him were the people that he replaced. But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Red Bull will just eat you up and spit you out. I don't feel like it's smart to go to Red Bull.
Yeah. Yeah. I am curious if like someone like Carlos or Pierre or Alex were offered a seat at Red Bull, what their reaction would be now.
Here's another question I have. Do you think if you as a driver go someplace like Ferrari, you're not going to get paid as much?
Ooh.
Because it's like you're at this prestige team. We don't need to
Mhm.
pay you. Like you have the name.
I mean, I will say like Checo going to Red Bull definitely got more
Made
money.
more money. Yeah.
Both in like salary and like bonuses and endorsements.
Yeah.
I feel like Ferrari is the one team where they would not pay you as much because you're driving for Ferrari.
Ferrari feels like they'd be cheap about it.
Mhm.
They'd be like, why do you need money? You're
Mhm.
driving for Ferrari. That's everyone's
The benefit is
dream.
you're a Ferrari driver.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ferrari's terrible. They're like, why aren't you happy? You should be happy.
Why are you releasing depressed songs?
It's So yeah, hot takes all around. Yeah, I thought that was overall fun race. Good race.
Great race.
Good job, boys.
That beginning was so much chaos in the best way. Without a ton of crashes, which made it way better.
Always better when they don't crash all over.
Yeah,
Always
fun race.
preferred. Yeah.
I think
Agreed.
I also just loved it because it was like F1 is finally back after 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Finally back and with a good race. It was both. It was both.
Okay.
Well, Monza
Well,
next week.
Monza, I'm so excited. Let's go to Italy. Again. Let's
I
go
wish.
back to Italy.
Yeah, can I
Would
go
you
to
go to
Italy?
Italy
and-
for a race? Or would you
That
be
is-
afraid?
I would love to go to Italy. I will be eating my way through Italy while you're at the race. You can meet me after for a hike and some food.
Actually,
I
I
would love
don't.
to go to Italy.
Monza would not be a race I would want to go to. It just seems too intense.
The fans are too much.
Yeah, well, and also it was the race last year where there are all those stories about like
There were
Waiting.
no bathrooms.
3 hours to go to a bathroom
my
or
gosh.
get some food.
No. Are there any races in Italy in like late September?
No.
I feel like that's the perfect weather.
Imola's usually in June and Monza is next weekend.
Ah, then I'm out.
Then
Too hot.
join.
Sorry.
June.
Too hot.
June.
Yeah. I feel like isn't it hot already there? It's like pretty
Yeah.
hot, like June, July, August.
Mhm.
I like the heat.
May,
Yeah, don't say
September,
Grace.
October. I'm in. I already live in the heat. I don't want more heat.
I could do with more heat. I like the heat. Okay, well, beautiful. I'm excited to watch Monza.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be lovely.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming
thanks for
on.
joining us, Hannah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us.
Review us
Yeah.
kindly.
Write some fanfic.
Yeah, send us your fanfic. We'd love to read it.
And we'll see you all next week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.